Battletech. So why are we doing this Battletech thing? Why did I get started in Battletech? Why do I continue to play Battletech? And what captures me to stay in that universe? Now, certainly I love war games. Certainly I love miniature-based games, and Battletech is an amazing war game. It's got so many different miniatures, mechs, vehicles, infantry, air support, artillery. There is a lot. So if you're a miniature enthusiast, certainly that looks amazing on the table, and building lances and tactica combinations. Socially, Battletech has been a great way to meet new friends, to talk tactics, to spend quality time, quality wargaming time, rolling some dice and blowing some stuff up. But I could say I also have that with Warhammer 40,000 and X-Wing miniatures and Wings of Glory and other types of games. What would be that thing that keeps me coming back to Battletech? Certainly the community, but I would say if I had to pick that one thing over the years, and it changes from time to time, it's not always static, but it's been consistent, the lore, the narrative of the game. Right? One of the things that we're trying to do with this wargaming thing is literally step out of space and time and be there in the moment. Ask those questions. If I was there, or in the case of Battletech, I am there, what choices would I make? How could I affect the game itself? I know Battletech has a role-playing element to it, like literally a role-playing game, but I find with Battletech a lot, I feel like I'm playing a role-playing game. What's the mission? I put myself in there as mech commander. When I'm engaged mech to mech, I put myself in there as that mech warrior, making those literal, not only life and death decisions. Death would probably be better than joining the ranks of the dispossessed. So from that perspective, the lore and the narrative. Battletech has always been kind of a unique game in that we've got this extremely high-tech stuff. So these are kind of the two things that pull me into that narrative, to that lore. We've got these extremely high-tech mechs with technology, star travel, communications, everything set like in the future. But through just the follies of people and humankind literally wrecking the technology base, where we're talking about inner sphere, to the point where the war continues, but we can't even repair these machines. We can barely build these machines, but we rely on them so much. So the idea of futuristic lost tech, the irony that you're cannibalizing and pulling apart machines and fixing machines that can't be fixed, it's just shows the absolute craziness of the power structure in that moment. That's an interesting game, right? A lot of this kind of sci-fi miniature-based games set in the future, it assumes that tech-based through warfare can continue on. Battletech Inner Sphere is kind of like, we're fighting it, or there's a pause in the moment just to restock and regroup, but how many mechs can we produce? I've got this factory putting out 4 or 5 mechs a year, completely automated. We don't even know how it runs. If it breaks, we're in trouble. So just keep it going, get those machines out. But while this is going on, you also have infantry. You also have conventional tanks and vehicles, something that we're very familiar with. This idea of high tech versus current tech. That's really, really interesting. The other thing that captures me with Battletech, and this is a dangerous place to be with a miniature-based game because you're constantly adding to your collection. You think you have it under control. You're never going to have it under control. Timelines. Battletech, to my knowledge, so I'm thinking about the other systems that I play right now and other wargaming systems. I want to say Battletech is the only system or one of them that, for better or worse, whether you agree or disagree, the timeline has advanced real time through various incarnations of the game. Started out Inner Sphere, but then it pushes forward to clans. Then it pushes forward to after the clans, right? Then you've got, we'll count Dark Age, but you've got Jihad, you've got other aspects of the game where you can take your miniatures and play them at that point in the game. Something like Warhammer 40,000, which I'm also a big enthusiast, yes, they've introduced new armies over the years. Games Workshop has added new armies. They haven't advanced the timeline at all in any way, other than very, very recently adding some new units and changing things to get us to buy more miniatures. But you're fighting in a very, very specific point. Now, you could do Horus Heresy 30K. There are a few small spin-offs. You could explore Blackstone Fortress. But essentially, you're locked in this moment. We see that with historicals. I love playing Chain of Command, DBA, DBN. But you are deliberately inserting yourself into a very, very specific time period and playing that. I don't count X-Wing miniatures as advancing the story because X-Wing miniatures with all their ships, yes, you could play, I'm looking for the word, historical Star Wars. I could look and try to recreate a very specific period based on the ships. But X-Wing miniatures by its default just assumes all of these ships are in play all the time. So you can really kind of bring anything and do anything that you want without changing things. They haven't advanced the storyline. They're just putting out all these ships to utilize. But the fact that Battletech, where I can take my miniatures that I play and play them at different points with no change whatsoever, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. And naturally, I think most of us gravitate towards a certain area. If I look at my, do we call it a Battletech career, right? Years of playing, it is mostly Inner Sphere or Clan Invasion. Have we played post-clans? Yeah. Have we played a mix of things? Yes, absolutely. Have there been some times where we've been like, look, just no time period. Just bring whatever mechs you want to bring and we'll battle it out. Absolutely. But you can play in so much. So for me, giant robots, an amazing, amazing narrative. And the fact that the narrative is not static, that I have the ability with my same collection to play in different eras and to explore different moments, plus tanks, plus infantry. That's what keeps me in that Battletech narrative in terms of the game. And of course, meeting and making new friends, the community, talking Tactica, building, painting miniatures, and all that. For me, in so many ways, Battletech is the complete and the perfect wargaming package.